Welcome back to the channel, guys. Thank you for joining me. I am your host, Royal Mustache, and in today's episode, I'm going to be going over all of my favorite personal video games that were released in 2024. Take it as a 2024 video game recap. Now, before we get started, I do want to mention that I have quite a large stack of notable mentions. There were just so many games that came out, it was hard for me to pick my top 10. So without further delay, let's jump right into it. Now, there are a lot of games I didn't purchase in 2024 that I'm not going to include in my top 24 just because I didn't play it yet. So I didn't think it was fair if I was like, hey, this is a great game, but still sealed, or I haven't even owned it yet. So I kept those off the list. So with that being said, we're jumping right into the next notable mention. And for me, that was Sandland on the PS5. I have no idea where this game came from. I think I picked it up on Woot for 15 or 20 bucks. Had no idea what it was about or the storyline, no clue. I think I've actually unboxed this in one of my first videos when I got it several months ago. And honestly, this game is so under the radar. I'm surprised even for myself that it didn't make it into the top 10. Great game, great storyline, great mechanics, how you're able to move around the whole world in your tank. The fighting is great, the leveling up is great. It's everything you love in an RPG and more, and I have it here on the PS5. Definitely recommended, definitely should give it a shot. Should have made the top 10, but we'll get there soon. X Nordics. Now, I picked it up on the PS5. I've been playing Ys, I don't even know how many years now. It's maybe 10, 15 plus years. I've got every single one, both in English and in Japanese releases, or the import release. Also on the PS4. Had to get this, loved every second of it. Epic storyline, stunning visuals, loved the combat. Just couldn't make it into the top 10. You'll see why. Yeah, definitely recommended. All right, next up in the notables stack. There's no way not to include this. But Tomb Raider's 1, 2, 3 Remastered. Now, I don't know about you guys. I'm an 80s kid. I remember picking up Tomb Raider 2 at, I think it was Nobody Beats the Wiz. That doesn't even exist anymore over here in New York. It was like Christmas week. I had it on I picked up Tomb Raider 2 on PS2. I spent the entire Christmas break trying to beat that game, and I did. So of course, I had to pick up this gem. I wish it could have made my top 10, but there was just so many other great games. And technically, this is like not really a release, although it is the first time it's ever released 3 games in one. Picked it up on the PS5. Awesome game, super nostalgic for me. Definitely had to include this in my top mentions. Next up in my notable mentions is Dragon Quest III 2D HD Remake. What a crazy title for it just to say this is a great game that was remastered from the classic Dragon Quest III. Been a huge fan of the Dragon Quest series. I love the visuals. I love the storyline. Great storyline, by the way. I'm a sucker for, I guess most people are. Great game. Had to mention it. Had to include it in my most notable games of 2024. Couldn't pass up on it. Definitely recommend it. Okay, here we go. Another game that's probably not in anybody's top 10 or anybody's list, but I'm a sucker for beat 'em ups, and I thought I had to have Slave Zero X on the PS5. I know, you guys are probably like, what's wrong with this guy? But for me personally, I love this game. I love beat 'em ups. I thought this was great. The gameplay, the art, the visuals, the music, the storyline. This was, to me, kind of like, I don't want to say a best kept secret, but this went totally under the radar, and I don't understand why. Definitely recommend it. Slave Zero X on the PS5. If you love beat 'em ups, check this one out. Speaking of beat 'em ups, I have another one here. Now, technically, it did come out in 2024, but technically, it did not originate in 2024, and that is Shadow of the Ninja Reborn. I'm a sucker. I said it in my previous notable. I love beat 'em ups. This is more of a strategy type based beat 'em up. There's platforming involved, and there's some. I don't want to say that beat 'em ups don't involve thinking or strategy, but this one has definitely a lot more strategy. Great graphics. Music is awesome. You guys would love this game. I definitely recommend it. It's definitely in my notables of 2024 releases. Had to get a copy. Couldn't be happier. Okay, now the moment probably you've been waiting for. We're gonna actually go over my personal favorite top 10 games. Starting with number 10, none other than Marvel vs. Capcom, the classic arcade edition. I went bananas when I heard this game was going to come out, and I'll tell you why. It was 1999 on my Sega Dreamcast when Marvel vs. Capcom Clash of Heroes came out, and I was blown away. I used to play that game in high school. We had a senior lounge, and I would just dump quarters. As soon as school was over, I would spend 3 or 4 hours in the senior lounge, learning how to play this game, playing with all my classmates, getting schooled, but learning. So much so that I picked it up on the Dreamcast. However, as much as I love my Dreamcast, this game has that, plus more. And it includes the Punisher game, which I haven't played the Punisher game I don't even know how many years. But this has all of the arcade classics that I grew up, and I personally played at many arcades, and I had to pick it up. So that's why this one made it into my top 10. Coming in at number 9, another game that I thought was below the radar, not mainstream. I think I picked this game up for 15 bucks on Woot. No idea why. And that's the Prince of Persia game on PS5. This game was amazing. It's Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, by the way. Forgot about that. I love kind of like these Metroidvania, platforming, action, RPG, all built into one. And this game, I don't know why, but this game just completely wasn't a big deal for anybody. And for me, this was my number 9 of the year. Yeah. So yeah, definitely pick this up. If you don't have it, obviously, great game. You're gonna love it. Okay, coming in at number 8 in my 2024 favorite video games released is Iron Meat on the Nintendo Switch. I like this game so much that it was actually featured in 2 of my previous videos. And if you don't know what this game is about, it's Contra meets gruesome, disgusting enemies meets heavy metal music, all wrapped up in a beautiful bow on the Nintendo Switch. I love this game. The soundtrack, the action, the visuals, they did an incredible job here. Definitely pick it up. By Strictly Limited. Not sure why it didn't make more news, but on my list, number 8 was sick. Okay, moving right up to number 7. Now, this game technically as well did not come out in 2024. It had a special version released. This game was so good that I picked it up on 2 consoles, and that's Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance. And I have it on the Switch, and I have it on the PS5. I actually just picked it up on the Switch. It's still sealed, but I've been playing the hell out of it on the PS5. This game is everything I love about Atlus. You guys know I have an entire episode where I'm hunting for Atlus games at a retro game con. Anything Persona, anything Shin Megami Tensei, anything Devil Summoner, super sucker for that. I love it. It's great. So you know when this game came out, I had to pick it up. And of course, it's truly an amazing game. Visuals, the story, everything is great. The whole RPG mechanic, how you have to capture enemies, make them work for you. Like, they did great with this game. Sick pickup. Definitely check it out if you haven't already. Definitely my number 7 in 2024. Moving on to number 6. And hey, guess what? We just mentioned these guys one game before. And if you haven't guessed it, it's Metaphor. Oh man. I have this game as well as the collector's edition, which I have another video I've got where I was kind of showing off my collector's editions. And that's on the shelf seal. I'll never open that up. That's going to be a museum piece for me personally. But when this game came out, when I heard about this game, I was unbelievably super amped. They went a whole nother route. So it's not a Shin Megami Tensei, it's not a Persona, not a Devil Summoner, it's none of these. It's a whole new series, Metaphor ReFantazio, but also captures the same things that we love about Atlus. Of course, you have this beautiful visuals, RPG mechanics, the storyline is incredible, the music, like, it's sick. If you haven't heard about it, you're living under a rock, which it's okay, it happens to some of us. But definitely check this game out. Amazing. Number 6 in my 2024. All right, moving right along. We're halfway through the list. We're getting to the juicy bits, as they would say across the pond, I think. Number 5 is Neon Blood. Now I know you guys are probably like, hey, this game just came out, blah, blah, blah. You guys know I'm a huge sucker for anything cyberpunk, anything RPG, anything retro. And when they combine all three into this game was amazing. I just recently reviewed this game, or I kind of did an unboxing of it with some gameplay footage in my last episode, the 50 game pickup I did for the Video Game World Showcase. I love this game. I beat it twice already. It just came out like 2 weeks ago. You're probably asking, where does this guy get the time? I have no idea. Maybe I don't sleep enough. Maybe you can tell I don't sleep enough. I don't know. But definitely Neon Blood, great pick. Number 5 in my 2024 top 10 games. Definitely a must play. You guys gotta try this game out. Number 4 on my top 10 2024 video game releases is none other than Stellar Blade. Now I know what you're saying, Joey, it's all about the jiggle physics, and maybe you're right. But outside of that, this game is still sick. The visuals, the storyline, the music. I feel like I'm a broken record. All my games I've said about, that's all I've been saying. But in this game, the action is amazing. I don't know how they were able to, it really goes to show that when we get the right developers working magic on the right hardware, the striking balance of visuals and gameplay that you can get. And that to me is really shown, and it's really front and stage with Stellar Blade. Number 4 on my top 10 2024 video game pickup. All right, we're getting into the heavy hitters now. Top 3. Coming in at number 3, Unicorn Overlord. Yes, another Atlas. Yes, our Vanillaware game. Unbelievable. You know I'm gonna say it. Visuals, incredible. Music, sick. Gameplay, the RPG elements, the whole mechanic of winning battles. This game is phenomenal. Highly recommended. Definitely made it to number 3 for me. Definitely give it a shot. Coming in at number 2. Now keep in mind, like I was saying previously, this is my top 10 list. I have a weird flavor, I guess, or a weird style. But number 2 for me, coincidentally, is Silent Hill 2. Which I know what you're saying. It's a horror game. It's not even, you know, this came out originally on the PS2 in the 90s. Technically, Joey, this is not really, you know, not really a good pick. But for me, I love this game. I love everything about it. I love the nostalgia factor. The nostalgia factor alone gives this an extra few points in my top 10. The way they redid the storyline, staying true to the elements that kept it so amazing in the original. This game, I was nervous when I heard about it. I was really hoping it wouldn't be bombed. That the developers stay true to the core of this game. And you know what? They did. Nice job. And for me, that's the reason why it's my number 2 game in 2024. Love this game. Definitely give it a shot. And now, for the moment you've all been waiting for, my number 1 pick in 2024 is none other than Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Yes, I know. I am a sucker for anything Final Fantasy. I grew up playing every single Final Fantasy. And when the Final Fantasy VII came out, when I was just a little kid, a 9th grader in high school, that game changed my life. I've never looked at Final Fantasy the same. And when this game was announced, and when I played this game and beat it, it brought everything back. It was like a time machine for me. The way they were able to capture the feelings from the original playthrough for me, the music, obviously the open world concept, which I was really happy they did in this version, really put it all together for me. And this is why it's my number 1 pick in 2024. Okay, so you're probably asking yourself, hey man, what about all the other releases? So like I'm saying, these are games that I've purchased and that I've actually played and I've beaten. There are tons of games that came out in 2024 that I haven't even owned or played yet, which include the Elden Ring series, Astro Bot, which I know won like 1 million awards. I just haven't played it. You know, I've got quite a big backlog going on here, and I prioritize games that, you know, kind of fit my style more. Does that mean they aren't good? No, it's just I haven't played it yet, so I'm not gonna give you a fake, you know, top 10. So you know, I'm gonna choose the games I've played, share with you guys the games I've liked, the ones I've enjoyed, and then hopefully that means something to you guys. I could have said a lot of games, but these are the ones I've played. These are the games I've beaten. These are the games I've personally enjoyed. If I didn't include it in this video, that just means I'm gonna include it in an upcoming video. So again, just wanted to clear that up. I know I don't want to, upset somebody and make somebody a little bit butthurt, but just letting you know, this is why these are the games I chose. Just purely because these are the ones I bought, these are the ones I've enjoyed, these are the ones I've beaten. Okay, so that wraps it up. Glad you can join me here for my top video game pickups of 2024 released in 2024. It was a pleasure doing this video for you guys. If you liked the video, definitely hit like. Would love it if you considered subscribing, and definitely leave a comment. I love interacting with you guys when possible, where possible. It means a lot to me. With that being said, have a wonderful rest of your week. See you guys next week. Stay legendary.